What else is happening in this country? We have other democratic cities, Denver, California, LA, sending their people to Chicago, New York. They're sending their migrants to Chicago. Why? Because they're saying we can't take anymore. Chicago has yet to say we can't take anymore. We have to draw the line somewhere. It's a diversion to continue to say this is a federal problem, we need help from the federal government. Yeah, we know that. But while we're waiting for the federal government to act, we need to be doing something here at home to protect us. Now, we don't even know the people who are coming to Chicago. The people that are coming here, we don't know if they have criminal backgrounds. We don't know if they're murderers. We don't know anything concrete about the people coming here. Now, when you look at what's happening, Venezuela are emptying their jails and telling them to walk to the border. So they're coming to Chicago. We already have enough crime here in the city of Chicago. We have enough crime here that we're dealing with.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Chicago illegal immigration crisis, because as you guys just saw in the video that I played at the beginning of this video, there are a bunch of cities that are deciding to send their illegals to Chicago because Brandon Johnson is one of the only mayors that is not openly complaining about the crisis, right? He's basically saying that, yeah, there's room for everybody, right? And all of these other cities are saying, okay, bet, we'll just send you our illegals and you can take care of them, since Chicago apparently has resources and room for everybody, according to Brandon Johnson. Now, probably one of the reasons why Brandon Johnson is not complaining too much, he's not saying too much, is because he probably observed, like the rest of the country, what happened to Eric Adams, who has been speaking out against the illegal immigration crisis, right? He's been speaking out against the terrible job that the Biden administration has done when it comes to protecting the border and the lack of federal money. And the Biden administration sent the feds to raid his top campaign fundraiser as a warning that he needs to close his mouth about complaining about illegals, right? So again, Brandon Johnson, okay, if he knows what's best for him, right? If he wants to keep his political career, which, you know, admittedly could be short-lived, he needs to suck it up and take the illegals into his city with a smile. However, I think that Brandon Johnson should worry more about his constituents, the actual residents of Chicago, rather than the Biden administration, because they are essentially threatening to flip the city red if Chicago doesn't deport the illegals. Take a look.
You want us to continue to understand and see the problem, but y'all don't see the problem in the black culture. Black people are the influence. We wouldn't, y'all know, nobody would be here if it wasn't for us. Okay? This is a whole new generation. This social media, this now, like, you're not gonna allow this to happen. And we're not gonna allow this to happen because we're gonna force you to do the right thing. And if not, y'all getting out of here. I was in Georgia when they flipped that state blue for the first time. I will knock on every senior's door and make them hold their vote. This place will flip red. It'll be a historical moment because y'all not paying attention to them anyway. They're getting displaced. Y'all don't care, but y'all trying to find housing for Venezuelans, for the Latinos, for all that. Y'all keep sending them over here when they need to go back. Y'all, one time have y'all sent ICE there? ICE need to come. There's prostitution that's behind all of these police districts. I live in Streeterville. It's prostitution right up the street. I mean, it's a disrespect. And y'all continue to allow this to happen. Like Mayor Johnson is the most hated. And he's going to continue to be hated. The only people that like him is teachers and some of y'all. Okay? I'm trying to tell you, my tax money is not going to continue to allow this. Y'all need to find our money. You need to put more things in our neighborhoods. Y'all aren't doing nothing. These small businesses, the only thing you're giving it to is Latinos. Nah, it's more than that. This is the most segregated city. And the United States is looking at us.
Ms. Lee, thank you very much for your comments. However, your time has expired.
Yeah, so they say they go flip it red, right? They go flip it red because of how Brandon Johnson is treating the illegals, right? And this person's words, treating the Latinos, okay? Which is really sad to see, right? I really don't like to see racial division, okay, over this illegal immigration crisis. Because again, it's not, black versus Latino or black versus white or Latino versus white or Asian or whatever. It's not that. It's more about, Americans versus people who are not Americans. And it's not even really about the illegals being, all bad. I don't think they're all bad. It's just at the end of the day, we don't have room to take care of people when we can't even take care of ourselves, right? But apparently, again, Democrats find resources and ways to take care of illegals in ways that they never did for actual Americans. And I think that's what was pissing people off. And at this point, it seems as if it would have been cheaper to deport the illegals rather than to take care of them, right? And I'm sure some illegals probably feel like they would much rather be in Venezuela than Chicago right now because the winter is coming, okay? It is already snowing in Chicago, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, it does not look like the illegals are having fun in the Chicago winter, and I'm going to get into that, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, BioTrust. When it comes to anti-aging, we are all looking for that miracle pill. Generally, you need to try multiple products that target different areas of the skin to fully combat the appearance of aging. Some supplements may attempt to reduce wrinkles, while others may bring back firmness to sagging skin. Believe it or not, I have found a solution that removes the need for juggling with multiple anti-aging products. It's a special type of collagen, and it's better at maintaining skin elasticity, reducing visible signs of aging, and promoting a youthful complexion than most anti-aging products I've seen typically found on store shelves. Tens of thousands of 5-star reviews back up the notion that this collagen is not only a modern-day fountain of youth, but that it also removes the need for us to use countless serums and anti-aging supplements. Most importantly, you can save 53% for this month only. Plus, for a limited time, you'll receive free gifts such as free shipping, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, free VIP live fitness and health coaching for life, and a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, all at no extra cost to you. Go to healthwithpatriot.com, that's healthwithpatriot.com, or click the link in the description down below before this once-in-a-lifetime deal sells out.
Really, what we're concerned about is people who are exposed to the elements, especially, 24/7, sleeping outdoors.
We have reached a critical point in our city's migrant situation. Cold weather and snow have arrived. More than 3,000 new arrivals still don't have a roof over their heads. Casey Cronis is on the near north side with the latest.
Warming buses are parked outside of 21 police districts across the city tonight, including here at District 18, where migrant families are still sleeping in tents on the cold and wet concrete. Despite the smiles and snowballs that came with experiencing flurries for the first time, a pressing situation is becoming more urgent by the day and by the degree.
Even at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you can develop hypothermia with prolonged exposure or with wet clothing.
About 2 weeks ago, Beth Amadio, president and CEO of One Warm Coat, was contacted by the city.
We have been told that some of the migrant families are getting off of the bus with their feet still wet.
Her organization is one of several that officials are partnering with.
Whether that's, making sure that people have access to coats, gloves, even shoes. Sometimes people are arriving in flip-flops.
But long-term solutions are desperately needed. One mother of two from Venezuela who asked that we protect her identity says Tuesday's cold has been okay, but living like this is not what she expected.
We don't have friends or family here that can give us shelter, but my dream of coming here is for my children, to grow up here, to be good in school, and to be professionals. Opportunities we don't have in my country.
As she holds out hope for spots to open in a shelter.
How to learn to deal with our cold is a problem.
Dr. Jeffrey Copen of Northwestern Medicine says it's important that migrants are taught how to protect themselves amid this shift in the weather.
So if you see somebody who's new to our weather, teach them what to do, right? Share with them the experience so we all can get through this winter weather together.
Warming buses will be dispatched to various police districts on cold nights between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. For ways that you can help, visit our website, fox32chicago.com. Reporting on the near north side, Casey Cronus, Fox 32 Chicago.
Right. I guarantee you some of them, those migrants are basically regretting their decision to go to Chicago, given that if they're from Venezuela, okay, or parts of Central America or South America, they've never experienced cold like that, right? I mean, I can't stand the cold like that, okay? Going to New York City in the wintertime is like torture, okay? So I can't imagine somebody from another part of the world who has never experienced that type of cold, experiencing that and sleeping on the concrete in tents. Again, not necessarily a great situation, okay? But again, this is why, I say, look, man, like, the more the situation goes on, the more I'm convinced that the right thing to do is to send them back, right? The right thing to do is to send them back, because at this point, you're creating a lot of division, right? You're creating a lot of animosity. You're importing, illegals that, we don't know what their background is. We don't know a lot of times where they're from, what their criminal history is, what they're here for, if, they have kind of anti-American sentiment. We have no clue about any of these things, but yet we're taking them in, right? And there are certain organizations, like the organization in this video I showed you guys, that are getting rich off this stuff, right? Remember Anna Kasparian on the Patrick Bet David podcast talked about how California spends like billions of dollars on homelessness, right? But it never actually gets solved. I think she might have said actually LA, right? I'm pretty sure California does too. It never gets solved because what happens is that the organizations that receive this money, they get rich, right? The people running these organizations, and then they never actually really solve the problem, right? It's almost as if there's an incentive to not solve these issues, because as long as there's an issue, then you're going to continue to get money, right? So what you have here in Chicago is that you have taxpayer funds, millions of dollars, okay, hundreds of millions, are being used to fund these organizations, these woke organizations, these organizations that are ran by liberals, that are probably very well connected with Brandon Johnson. They're getting rich and benefiting off of the illegals coming to the city. Now, the people that are losing are the residents of Chicago, the taxpayers who have to foot the bill, right, for woke organizations to get rich, right? And that's kind of what's happening here, right? And I think that's why, a part of the reason why Brandon Johnson is so hesitant about actually telling the truth and, not encouraging the illegals to come is because, again, there are a whole lot of people in his orbit, his political orbit, that are getting rich, right? And he also knows that if he, speaks out in the wrong way against the Biden administration, he could possibly face some consequences, right? He'll get the whip cracked on him the way that Eric Adams did. So again, it's a fascinating situation that is happening here. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get better, because the Biden administration, they don't seem like they are really focused on securing the border. And the politicians in Congress are more focused on securing other people's borders across the world than our borders. So as long as there's a focus on secure other people's borders, this will continue to be an issue, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. These once great American cities, okay, like Chicago, New York, all these other cities, they're gonna basically become like cities in South and Central America, right? This is what they're gonna become. They're gonna become lawless, and they're gonna have a whole different demographic in 20, 30, 40 years. They're going to be unrecognizable, right? I mean, they're going to, again, it's going to become Venezuela, right? That's what's about to happen. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.